Hello, Connections Collective. Welcome back. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's having a very good weekend. Has been hanging out on Connections and posting photos. I know that I'm kind of going through withdrawals when it comes to yoga, and so when it comes to sort of updates and things of that sort, and the weekends are sort of like a quiet time. So I thought we'd come back and do a little like I don't know, like State of the Union sort of thing, where we talk about like everything that's been going on. For anybody new, yay! So anybody new that's here, welcome. For anybody that's coming back, welcome back. I wanted to talk about like the reason we decided to have this, and I think we're gonna have a.
For anybody who saw the Instagram post.
Yeah. It sounds a bit weird. Are we having
Oh
audio?
no. Okay.
Oh,
We switched over to a different microphone today, hoping that it would sound better, but maybe it's sounding worse. I can always switch to the other microphone if this one sounds bad. So I'll switch out to the other microphone. Oh, I know why. Haha, because I clicked on the improper microphone. Hold on a minute. Let's try that again. Say something, and I bet you won't sound like a robot.
Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, because they said now that you are closer, it sounds like the mic is working. So maybe it was picking up the mic. Yeah, that sounds great.
No, I clicked on the wrong mic. That was me. My fault.
We love you guys so much that you're actually encouraging us to sort of upgrade or try to upgrade our facilities and
yeah, we switched some things around and tried to make it, because I listened to the audio on the last one and it was okay. Like, you could hear people, but it just wasn't awesome or anything. So we figured we'd reconfigure some things and figure it out so that it sounded hopefully a little bit better.
Yes, you're very welcome. So what I was saying before is the reason we decided to go on stream, and the reason I think that we're going to go on stream next Sunday as well, and try to invite a couple of you Central Floridians who are in town, if anybody wants to make a trek out, and we can have some whiskey and just relax and maybe talk about the show.
A collection of the collective.
A collection of the collective. Is we had a bit of an argument, and it wasn't a heated argument.
We had a discussion.
It was a discussion because of how we felt about certain individuals that may have been introduced this week.
He had some false beliefs about some things that just weren't quite accurate, but that's okay.
So why don't we jump into this, because yes, and so,
yes, whiskey.
Yeah. Give us a follow or like up at the top, and you'll be notified.
Yes, thank you.
So
that's exactly what we
let's talk about Vex, shall we? Because Vex wasn't around last week when we were discussing things, and the biggest argument that we're getting into is about the merits of Vex and possibly the merits of V. And I have a couple of theories I want to run at you guys to see if you can back it out. So, this thing is going for a while, so even if we don't get some of you guys on stream.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll make it happen.
So, okay, Abigail. And look, I prepared notes because I wasn't going to lose this argument again. Okay, Abigail.
Again? You said again?
No, not well. Yes, any husband knows that you're always right. So I get Abigail, and I think I understand the merits of what she's been trying to do with some of her streams for pushing past the comfort zone. Okay, and I totally get that. Chameleon's argument is that it is pushing to a point that is not healthy and not...
Okay, so I was with you guys, thank you, yay, soup. So on the first stream, and I don't know how many of you saw the first stream where we saw Abigail, and I thought, you know what, this is just, we all, people who have been performers, have moments where you have to go a little bit 110 in front of the camera, and you drop your facade and you can relax a little bit. And yeah, of course, we all have different sides to us, and we just saw a different side to Taylor. We saw her like laid back side, and yeah, it's a little bit different than her when she's on.
Right.
And that was fine at first. But to go to that sort of an extreme so quickly, and it doesn't seem to have come from her. This all seems to be instigated by someone else. This is not just her going, I'm going to drop my facade now, and I'm just going to be a little rawer and a little edgier. And I mean, what do you guys think? Audie, what do you guys think? Like, do you think that this is? Do you think that this is a deliberate influence and manipulation by V to achieve whatever these goals are through Abigail? Or do you guys still see her as kind of this neutral?
Rube is backing you up and saying Taylor is a puppet. Did you notice her most recent pictures?
Thank you. Yay, Rube. See, I was right.
Okay, my argument is
Okay.
we have at times, like some of us, and especially people that may like see interactive like things, like we understand what it's like to wear a mask. Who are we to judge Taylor for accenting a certain part of her to sell the personality of Taylor in order to work with connections and to be around Nolan? Like, what is the difference? Like, we're so convinced because we saw Taylor first that Abigail isn't the right thing.
No. I'm not judging Taylor for having her persona. Of course, she's going to have to amp up her persona for the product that is connections. I mean, it's an important product. I mean, as good as it is and as much potential as it has to do really amazing things, she still has to sell it in the right way. She's got a lot of people that are probably making sure that she is the image that is connections.
Okay, well, Enzo thinks that I don't think Taylor is a puppet. I think it's another side to her, which I agree. But Audie's kind of with you saying, I think at first she wanted to be herself, but now it's going overboard.
Right. Well, and yes, that is probably a part of her, and this is her amping up that part of her personality. But it's kind of like, okay, so she's amping up this Taylor side of her personality, this persona, which is great because this is what's best for connections. And then we see the raw side of her personality that goes back a little bit to her cam days and that sort of thing. But I think that this part is being highlighted and manipulated and pushed into becoming a raw and a version of her that could not only mess things up. I mean, it could destroy connections. I mean, perhaps this is about destroying connections. This is about manipulating her into being the one who becomes the downfall of all of this.
Right. Okay. So is Audie's assumption? Hey, puppy. I think two different people are pulling on her. Neither of them are herself.
I agree. Like the connections group itself, or do you mean Nolan? Like I believe that Vex is definitely pulling on, or V is definitely pulling on her. But do you think that the other person is like the connections itself, or Nolan, or?
Well, I mean, we saw a bit of that at that first party, right? Where Nolan was saying Taylor is love, like Taylor is like and Megan. Okay, so let's talk about what Emma says. She's going to play super devil's advocate here and say, between groups, we all change in some ways and some more drastic than others.
I agree with that. Absolutely. Like we all chameleon ourselves we all chameleon ourselves in our own ways, like based on who we're with.
Okay, but that doesn't make this side of her any, like, it doesn't make it bad then. Like,
in her first stream, no.
Okay.
Did you hear that? Okay. Shh. I'll go check. I'll be right back.
She has been freaking out all day.
Yeah.
Sorry. Nope.
There's nobody there. Shush.
I know. And we've been freaked out because
Dogs.
she only barks when there's somebody at the door.
Yeah.
Okay. But okay, so I know that's not that big of a deal. So let's talk about this then. If there's, let's say that there's an angel and a devil on someone's shoulder, like Taylor, be it Taylor or Abigail, and V is there. Is V beneficial?
In this case, no, I don't think she is. I think, okay, the extreme change that we saw, it's not like, okay, we see Abigail and she's just a little raw, and then we see her in another stream and she's still the same Abigail. She wasn't still the same Abigail in the second stream.
But I get that, and I understand that, like, some of the things she asks people to do, and like talk about your personal like emails and conversations. Yes, we don't know for certain that it's her, and at the launch party she didn't do anything to sabotage. It was all Taylor and Nolan this year.
Well, yeah, but
are there just two entities? Is there real sides? Are both of these just personas? Is there a third persona?
Is there a third Taylor, Abigail, Betty? Like,
right. Well, I mean, not only that, but is there, with all these different personalities and with accenting of certain things, how do we know who is real? Like, are we going to see something from Nolan? Do we see it on a smaller scale with like him getting super drunk and like passing out at the party?
My gut tells me that Abigail, like, if we bring Taylor down to just who she is, like what we saw of Abigail in that first stream was probably Abigail as you know, that's Abigail when she's not kind of amped up into Taylor persona, and maybe she's really something in between. This is her being a little relaxed and being a little ready to kind of like meet the old days, and the real her is somewhere in between those two. But I think what we're focusing on, or what we should be focusing on, is not Taylor and not Abigail of the first stream, but this person that she's been kind of dragged into and pulled into through V.
Okay, and we do need to talk about like stuff like dissociative identity disorder, where she was zoning out. Like, maybe this is a condition. Like all those times in the videos where she kind of went like zony and stuff like that, she kind of stared off. And it's what the people in California reported, that some of the people from the Tamarind Martini Society, I mean, all of these things could come into... Okay.
But she wasn't having the martinis. She wasn't having the Tamarind Martini.
No, but the Tamarind Martini Society that happened.
Oh, I'm saying, because Nolan, we talked about possibly him being drugged and all of that.
Okay, but Rube says this, so she talks about the climate change and the poor. Like, her Instagram videos have gone from like, oh, super yogas, like stuff like that. Like, you know, like this is what you're supposed to do, but now... like she's changing sort of her message. Like this is seeming like it's fed to her. What is Nina? Both of these faces are a performance for different intended audiences. They each reflect a part of Taylor and Abigail. They also each reflect a part of who she performs for.
So she's performing for V?
I don't know.
And if so, who is... Because of course she's in a way performing for Connections, because, you know, this is her job. This is her persona. This is, you know, but... why perform for V? Who is V to have her performing for V and becoming a more extreme version? Okay, because for Connection, she's becoming a more extreme version of herself for Connections, but we understand why. Why would she become a more extreme version of herself for V? Who is V and why is V important?
But Nina may have hit the nail on the head. It could be that, V is a strong-willed personality, and Nolan at times can be a strong-willed personality. So, okay, so this is the other thing. I have a gonzo theory for you guys, and I feel like I can share it with you guys, and you guys won't judge me.
Ooh, I'm hoping we didn't freeze up just now. I'm going to go check on it.
You
keep talking. I'm going to go check, make sure we didn't freeze up.
V is a strong personality, and so is Nolan at times, and so I have a gonzo like theory when it comes to Nolan, and I figured I can share it with all of you guys. Like, yeah, it's weird. Like, we've had like freezing up and like stuff that just doesn't normally happen. What is going on?
There's nobody there.
Nobody there.
Calm down.
So
Jeez.
she performs for all of us, different sides of us. Were you the same person looking for yoga as the same person looking for temptation with Abigail? Yeah. No, not yet. No. Boo. Stop.
Talk.
It's all right. It's just mommy. Especially for Taylor, for all of her stress at background trauma, there's a lot of opportunity for impression here. Any impression? Cora, stop. Cora said V is here.
Oh God, stop it. stop.
V's gonna burst into the stream. It sounded like knocking. V is there for real. Oh, no, thank you.
Nope.
She freaks me out a little bit.
Anyway, stop it, Kyle.
Okay. So my theory. We've seen pictures of Nolan. We've seen pictures of him on the connection site, and we've seen him doing the yoga poses, which could have very easily been taken in the past.
Yeah, I'm wondering how many of Taylor's yoga poses were taken, because they would have wanted to take them to set it up to have the connection stream ready.
But that's okay, because we've seen videos of Taylor, like on the Instagram. We've seen a picture of Nolan from the hand. Did something happen to Nolan after the party? The last thing that we talked about, or one of the last things we talked about, is people screaming, "Oh my God!"
He's wearing the same clothes in all of them. Is he wearing the same clothes? How have I not noticed that he's wearing the same clothes in all of them?
Did the last thing people were screaming is Nolan is dead? He's laying down on the ground. He's not getting up. Nolan
he was
is
in
down.
the chair. I was right there next to him. He was like this in the chair. He was all slumped. But I never saw him move. I never saw him open his eyes. And that's when I went over towards Taylor, and she was on the floor, but she was moving around. She was obviously, and that's when they started pushing us out of the room.
So the question is, has this been, like, if you wanted to keep a group of people happy, like if you wanted to keep a group of like individuals happy and content and stuff like that, he isn't dead. Okay. And dead is like worst case scenario, but like is somebody else driving the car? Are we supposed to believe that everything's fine with Nolan and stuff like that? This would explain why Nolan refuses to even engage with the idea that V could be a problem, even though he was afraid of her at the party.
Yeah, he was acting really weird around her at the party.
This is just Ruth talking about messages and emails with him. Like, it's almost like a shift. It's a shift in like in what was going on, in what's going on with him.
But the thing is, I'm seeing connections itself. I mean, this is a powerful group, and I'm not saying they're a bad group. They're a powerful group. They've got a lot of pull. And for one individual to have this much power over these people, like, who is she and where is she from? Because if she's just some random person that's like, I don't believe that some random person would have this much power over this organization and these people.
Cora says we need to make Nolan do a live stream. Should we invite Nolan here?
Oh.
I don't think he would ever come.
I don't think he would.
But we could invite him here, or he could do a live stream from his place.
Or just invite him to do a live stream with a newspaper. Like, this is today's date on the newspaper.
Sound off in the room. Like, just do a here or something like that if you're going to be at the event on Tuesday. Because let the speculation begin. He may be at the event Tuesday. I will try to bring whiskey, or hopefully it's at a restaurant or a bar or something like that has a good scotch or whiskey, and we can all do a shot together, little Connections Collective shot. I'll invite Nolan next week.
Okay, so Rube, you'll be there.
Emma's going. One of us has to talk with him, or like pull him aside, or at least try. Enzo's going to be there. Like,
you might be the best person to talk to V, because I do not trust her at this point. You're the only one. He's so sunshine and rainbows. He just trusts everybody, and I don't. There's something up with her.
I understand that, but like I don't see the faults. I understand the trepidation, but V has done nothing but try to be forthright with us
and try to convince Abigail to talk people into doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing. Do
you know for a fact? Like, Abigail's talked about how the friendship with V has influenced her and changed her, but like, yeah, tamarind puree. Remember what we know about V. She was bullied online. She hates social media. She thinks that Nolan is a narcissist that shouldn't be doing this. She wants to stop Connections, or at least wants to prove that it's broken. Is Connections broken?
So then, is it worth her time, even if she is friends with Abigail Taylor? Is it worth her time? Is it worth her friendship to break Connections through her friend? To sacrifice her friendship to break Connections?
With who? Whose friendship?
With Abigail. Her bond with Abigail /
It
Taylor.
sounded like V met Abigail last. We were all there when she met her. Like, I got a video of her being like, "Hi, what is your name?" And she was like, "Volkarov." And she was like, "I don't know how to say that. I'm gonna call you V." Like, she.
But then why does she have so much influence on her if she just met her last week?
Abigail, because she's a strong.
Abigail, I love that. She's now Abigail.
She's a.
It's canon.
Damn it! Because she's a strong personality. Like, she's, I think our poor Taylor, like, at times, and like, even though she enjoys seeing people sort of express that side of them, I worry. I worry that sometimes she just is influenced by the stronger personality. I don't know. Okay, so there are some things I want to talk to you about. The little extra, like last week, like
He texted me saying that something is special about Taylor's spirit.
Taylor's spirit?
See, and this is the other thing that's going out, that this whole supernatural bend, like...
Yeah, there is...
Because I'm such a, like...
There is something special about Taylor's spirit. It's Megan.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not her spirit, or maybe something else is making its way forward. Like... Taylor is the light of connections, and the previous light of connections, Rube is right, previous light of connections was Megan.
See, I don't want to get caught up in this whole, well, there's a supernatural thing going on, and V is trying to, like, steal somebody's soul and all this, because it sounds dumb, but then there's a little part of me that starts thinking about and going, well, what if? What if? And then things start to click into place, and some of it makes sense, and some of the metaphor of the, the shoes with the goat-like shoes and everything, and I get caught up in this, and but I feel like a conspiracy theorist. I feel like I'm ready to go get my tinfoil hat, and
everybody go to Instagram after you're done here, or while you're sort of watching and stuff like that. After you type in something, go and look at the Instagram for. Some of you are already hip to this. Delilah Niyoga. Delilah, I think it's hyphen Niyoga. It's this girl that has been doing Niyoga. And if you want to talk about conspiracy theories, yes. Well, that's one that everybody needs to.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll be conspiracy theory team. Woohoo!
We need to make you a tank top for the event that says conspiracy theory team.
Conspiracy theory team. Yes.
Yeah, that's the link. Go and look.
Oh, thank you, Emma.
Go and look at her Instagram, or it's on Instagram right now. It is some of the weirdest. Like, she was posting and everything's like cute and rainbow until fairly recently. There is something that was brand new posted today with her doing one of the poses, and there's like weird body dysmorphing. And
like today? I didn't
even
go there today.
Yep.
I was caught up in all sorts of other things. And what is this?
Yeah. But it's on Instagram. If you go to Instagram.
I'm on Instagram. I just didn't have hers saved. Oh my gosh, it came up. It was the first one that came up when I clicked.
Okay. This is the bad TV. This was her doing the pose today.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah.
You might want to go there if you're not there.
Okay, so if the weird stuff starts happening, if that sort of darkness, like, because it
that
could
creepy
just be,
skull thing the other day was just like that, like.
Yeah, I get that, but more so than that, like some of the hashtags on here, like some of the hashtags are I can be alone, I can be alone, I can be alone, I can be alone. Like, pay attention to the like how many other posts out there, like how many other people are experiencing weird things when it comes to Niyoga. We've seen some of these videos with.
There have been a few weird things happening, like names changing while you're typing them. I've been hearing people say about things like that.
I won't even go that. I would say some of the Abigail videos, some of the weird staticky, like she walked towards a computer, like. Yeah.
Taylor and I share a special bond. She's more real than I imagine any human could be, though I sense a similar spirit in you, Audrina.
Oh, okay.
That was a direct message.
Yeah.
Audie.
So yeah, there's a lot of things on the air, and I'm I am optimistic about people, and I'm optimistic about relationships with people, but I'm pessimistic about supernatural leanings.
Me too. But I'm pushing away from that because that seems silly. I don't know. But when you start accepting that, when you start going, okay, what if? Just for just a second, what if I throw away everything I know about reality and the way the world works, and I start thinking in terms of the supernatural.
Okay.
With the metaphor of the lightness and the darkness and her being pulled, and whether you're looking at V as a neutral or whether you're looking at V as the dark.
Okay, so permission to ask a question that may be too deep for the Connections Collective and for everybody here, but I trust everybody.
Tropy, thank you. Yes, thank you. Emma and I are right. We're good.
You're
Emma.
Similar. The hashtag conspiracy team.
Conspiracy team.
Which was the weirdest Scooby-Doo ripoff ever.
Totally, but it was great.
The truth is coming. You've demonstrated your willingness to listen. You'll hear me when the time is right. It will be unavoidable. So what is the truth that she's speaking about? Rube, what about Taylor and her most recent hangout pictures? With the weird lighting and the stuff like that? Or is there something else that you're referring to? Does she look like off to you? I'm genuinely interested.
Shook hit that text.
I know.
Okay.
Well, I'm anticipating more and more text as we get closer to Tuesday and things of that sort. Like, there's just her face is distorted, heavily distorted. Oh. Well, I will have to.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, Rube,
see that. Was on Connections?
We'll have to check the connection.
The photo where she's looking out the window frowning, but her reflection is smiling.
Steady. He's talking about the Instagram.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It's two different sort of conversations.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's one of Taylor. Yeah. We'll do a little bit of digging tonight, and we encourage all of you. I need to. The question I wanted to ask is, if there is an inherent darkness in some of these people, our persons of interest, the people that we've been getting to know and sort of understand, people like Nolan, people like V, people like Abigail, is it better to have that inherent darkness on the inside or on the outside? Your thing is like, look, I don't trust anybody. You're essentially like, I don't trust V, I don't trust Abigail. I get it.
It's not that I don't trust Abigail. It's just that, like, I trust her motives with Connections. I trust that I feel like she's genuinely trying to do what's best for Connections, that she genuinely believes in Connections, and that Nolan genuinely believes in Connections. Yeah. But I feel like she's getting pulled. I don't feel that we know that V doesn't genuinely believe in Connections, but I feel like Abigail is getting pulled between the two.
Look at this quote that Rube just dropped. Some humans are predictably naive, so dedicated to one pursuit that they fail to see the truth. And that was Volkarov talking about Nolan. And then Enzo, like, Nolan may have asked people to keep an eye on Taylor too. So, like, why isn't Nolan said he hung out with her fairly recently, right? So we're going to go to this event, and we're going to have more information, because I know that in order for the light to shine so brightly, the darkness must be present. Yes, that is an amazing quote. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Nina. It is true. It is so, so true. And we need that. So Tuesday we'll talk. I do want to encourage you guys. Thank you, Nina. Some wise person must have said that. Does dark necessarily mean evil? No, I don't think so. Because remember that first video that we saw of V, like, shady in the bar with the contracts and stuff like that. Like,
dark is the absence of the light. You have a void. You turn on the light. It fills the void. Yeah. Dark is not the opposite. It's not its own substance. It's the absence of light. I'm
going to try to withhold and not jump on stream immediately Tuesday and share and whatever experience that we go through. I'm going to do my best to do that. I cannot make any guarantees. I'm going to try to hold off until next Sunday. Shoot me a message. I'm on Connections, and some of you follow me there. You can shoot me a message on Connections, on Instagram, on Twitter, if you'd be interested in coming out and sitting on the couch and having a couple drinks and talking about it. Do you think she's willing to manipulate others to get what she wants? The question is, what does she want?
Right. Okay. Thank you, Rube. I agree with that. I'm not saying that she's evil. I'm saying she might be evil. I mean, but I don't necessarily think that she's evil.
I think V wants Connections dead.
There is something that she wants, but I don't think it's just her. I think that there's someone else or something else that she is working for or that she is working with. I think that there is something bigger than V, and we don't know who or what it is yet.
Yeah, but then, okay. Then we're just waiting for the other shoe to drop. The metaphysical, spiritual shoe to drop. Or
there's a reason that she's involved. There's something that she wants that's bigger than just, I don't like Connections.
I don't think wanting Connections dead makes her evil.
No, but I think there's something more to it. I think we're either in the supernatural side of things where there's some sort of weird supernatural soul-sucking thing going on, or there's something else out there that is working through or with her to either A, stop Connections, B, pull Taylor into something, or Abigail into something, or both.
There's too many questions. There's too many questions that need answered, and there's players on the field that we still don't really understand where they're at emotionally, physically,
Not necessarily though. Okay, so Emma is saying that when V was down, when Abigail was down on the floor and V was mother henning her and careful and caring and doting. But what if she needs Taylor? What if Taylor is needed for something that is in her plans? She doesn't want her hurt. She doesn't want her injured. She needs her. She needs her body. She needs her soul. She needs her spirit. She needs something.
Or was V what Taylor used to be? We know a little bit about...
So she's seen a kindred spirit there.
We know a little bit about Nolan's past. I mean, but we don't know a ton of it. Does she see herself in her? Maybe we're seeing this sort of inherent darkness where none exists. Maybe V is honestly out for Taylor's best interest. And we just keep seeing the darkness.
I'm going to stop her. She's just growling at the door. Hang on.
Yeah. But thank you guys. You can.
What happened? What?
Is somebody at the door?
No. I mean...
That's enough.
Okay. No. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down.